Good morning, wee unicorns and families. Welcome to our assembly on Friday, the 5th of June. This assembly is the next one in our Building Resilience programme and it's called Expect the Unexpected. It's quite appropriate in these times when none of us expected that we would end up in lockdown and not be able to come to school to be together. So we'll have a think and a chat about the phrase expect the unexpected and discuss with the people around you what you think it means. Expect the unexpected. Here's a quote from a book called The Truth Pixie by Matt Haig, and some of you might have read this book, so you might be familiar with this quote. But listen hard and listen good. Life might not go as it should, but you're young and your life will be magic. It will be happy and funny and sometimes tragic. I think that's telling us that we all have to expect the unexpected in our life. We'll all have ups and downs. We'll have good times and we'll all have bad times. And it's learning to cope with the bad times that's the skill that we're trying to develop. And if we know that they're going to come sometimes, if we expect the unexpected, we'll be a bit more prepared for it. In this unit, Expect the Unexpected, we will cover change is part of life. It's okay not to be okay. And I have ways to look after my mental health. And we'll be splitting this assembly in two parts. So we'll do some of it today and then some of it next week. Here's Skipper on his journey down the river of life. And in this episode, Skipper faces a big change. He discovers that his boat is broken and he's told that it has so many problems that it is no longer safe to sail. Sadly, it cannot be fixed or mended. It's been written off. That means nobody can use it as a boat anymore. How do you think Skipper feels on receiving this news? Have a think about his emotions and his physical reaction as well. How will he feel? How might he behave when he hears this news? So have a chat with the people around you and try and think how he might feel. So when you were talking about Skipper, did you think he might feel sad? He might cry. He might be so upset that he cries and cries and finds it hard to stop. He might have felt angry. He might have shouted at the people who told him that his boat wasn't able to be fixed. He might have done lots of different things because we all behave in different ways when we learn about a change. And it's difficult sometimes to know how we'll behave. And that's why if we're prepared, if we know that life will have changes, and sometimes they're good changes, but if we're prepared for change, then we'll be able to manage our emotions and recognize our emotions and feel more able to cope with what's coming along. Change is a normal part of life. Skipper knows from his journey so far that life is full of change. Some changes can be positive and exciting, and other changes can bring disappointment, difficulty, and loss. Sometimes change is all these things. Can you think of a big change in your life? We're all together going through a big change because the coronavirus and the subsequent lockdown has made a huge change in all of our lives. None of us were really expecting this, and we're all having to learn how to cope with it. And there might be things about being at home in lockdown that you like, that are positive, and that there's been positive changes. And there'll be other things that are disappointing or difficult or just really, really hard to accept. So have a wee chat about the changes in your life. There might be other changes that have happened in your life that you would like to talk about as well. Everything changes at some point, As change can be hard, Skipper begins to wonder what the world would be like if there was never any change. If you think about that, think about you as a baby. You couldn't really do anything for yourself. And then as you got a little bit older, you learn to crawl and then walk and talk. And as you get a little bit older still, you learn to play with other people and have conversations with them and share toys with them. And then when you come to school, you start learning about reading and writing and maths and all sorts of other subjects. And as you go through the primaries, you develop these skills and are able to do harder and harder things. And some of you are just about to move on to high school, where you're taking those skills and developing them even further, making new friends, finding new interests, and really setting off on the next stage of your journey. So there's all sorts of things that are changing all the time, and they're really positive and they make the world go round. Have a think about what that guy's saying in the speech bubble. Just think, if there was no change, there would be no butterflies. What does that mean? Have a think about that and see if anybody in the family can work that one out. Did you work it out? Obviously, butterflies don't start out as butterflies. They start out as caterpillars. So there has to be change for them to turn into butterflies. I'm sure you did work it out. We all react differently to change, and Skipper's going through quite a hard time at the moment. He's wondering if he should continue on the river of life given all its ups and downs. But he doesn't want to miss out. There's still so much he wants to see and do and discover. New friendships, grand adventures, unforgettable experiences, and beautiful places. He just doesn't know what to do right now. It's okay not to be okay. There's times when we all feel like that, when we all feel not okay. And it's okay to admit that, and it's okay to tell people that. It's better to tell people that. If they say, "How are you?" and you really don't feel fine, you're better to say, "I'm not okay at the moment." And sometimes you'll be able to put your emotions and say the words to describe how you feel, and sometimes you won't. Sometimes you'll just know that you don't feel okay. But it's okay not to be okay. Some things in life cannot be fixed or mended. It's a rainy day and Skipper does not feel okay. He's feeling down about losing his boat and he's upset that there's nothing he can do about it. Some days are just like that. And remember what we've just said. It's okay not to be okay. Skipper is not alone. Skipper's friends see he's not his usual self and ask him if he's okay. They are concerned about his well-being. They take the time to really listen, which is often the very best thing someone can do. Together, they explore a way to say goodbye to his boat. Get help from your backup team. After some time, Skipper lets his friends know he is ready to start building a new boat. His backup team rally round and gather recycled materials to help. Skipper brings the steering wheel, the sails and the anchor from his old boat. Together, they get to work. Next week, in part 2, we're going to look more at this part. I have ways to look after my mental health. And on the next slide, we see the 10 tools that help us support our mental health and well-being. And we will go through them all next week, reminding ourselves about the tools that can help us to look after our mental health and help us to build our resilience. So make sure you tune in next week to have a more detailed look at these 10 tools. So we're going to move on to birthdays. Happy birthday to everyone who's had a birthday in the last week. I know it's strange having a lockdown birthday. You maybe can't see the people that you'd hope to see. Some of you might have been able to see a few more people recently, still keeping your social distancing, and maybe outside in the park or in the garden, and maybe you celebrated your birthday in the lovely sunshine. Anyway, we hope you had a very happy birthday. So to finish off the assembly, you've got a choice of songs. I found two songs called Changes. I'm sure there are more. They're very different. You can choose which one you would like to listen to, or you can try them both if you like. There's a Sesame Street song or a David Bowie song, and the links for them are both on the Learning Journal post. And if you want to log into Fishy Music, which you can access through our school website, and again, the details are on the Learning Journal post for the login details. And it's called We Will Find a Way. So enjoy a little sing-song, and thank you very much for listening to the assembly. I hope it's given you things to think about. It's very relevant at this time in our lives. Hope you are all staying happy and safe and well. But remember, it's okay not to be okay. We all have days like that. Look forward to seeing you all soon. Take care.